Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw Joker, Folie, Deux, directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. This is a sequel to what is considered one of the greatest superhero films, I use that term lightly, of the last decade. And that includes films like Endgame and Infinity War. Joker was a spectacular film. I can't remember exactly how long it came out. I'm guessing 6 to 7 years ago now. I thoroughly enjoyed that film. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was brilliant in the role of Arthur Fleck / Joker. I think he deserved his Oscar award for Best Actor in a Lead Role. It really was a spectacular film and entirely different than what you typically see in a superhero film. Again, I use that term lightly, but it exists in the same vein as a superhero film, with him playing an iconic Batman villain. With that said, I had heard some pretty terrible things about Joker, Folie, Deux. And so this is a follow-up, again, the sequel to that original Joker film, and it follows Arthur Fleck, convicted of 5 murders, and he is now being put on trial, accused of 5 murders. He's now put on trial, and it takes you through his journey at this point in his life when he meets Harley Quinn, played by Lady Gaga, and I've heard some really terrible things about this. I've heard it's absolute trash. Nothing happens. It leads to nothing. And for the first time today, someone gave me a little bit of hope that maybe this film wasn't as bad as everyone says it was. And it wasn't. It was not, and by any means, as bad as everyone said it was. It's actually a pretty decent film. It is certainly slow. It's longer than it needs to be at just about 2 hours. The musical aspect of it, some of those musical numbers are far too long, but it's actually a pretty well-made film. The cinematography is absolutely brilliant. There are some breathtaking shots that are just absolutely stunning. They're stellar. They do so much to enhance the film in so many different ways, and I thoroughly enjoy the cinematography. It is, in my opinion, the absolute best part of this film. Hearing a few years ago when they announced that Joker Folie, Deux was going to be a musical, I cringed, I rolled my eyes, and I said, basically, fuck that, I'm not seeing this film. That was bullshit. I knew I was going to see this film, but I was frustrated because I don't tend to like musicals very much. The musical numbers really work. Again, they are a bit long and a bit drawn out. A lot of them, not all of them, but the music really works. Because my issue with musicals is I can't suspend disbelief and understand how these musical numbers just take place in reality, and they're part of just, day to day. I didn't have to do that with this, because the way that they frame this and the way that they bring these musical numbers into the film, it works very well. There's no need for a suspension of disbelief. It just works and it makes sense. And I thought the music choices were good. We all know that Lady Gaga is a good singer, a good performer. And Joaquin Phoenix is surprisingly a good singer as well. Also, Brendan Gleeson, who has a tertiary role in this film, very good singer. Had no idea. So, again, the musical numbers work, and I'm impressed with that. So that was, I think, the biggest hump that I felt I needed to get over, and I was over that pretty early in the film, and it worked for me. Now, what didn't necessarily work for me was Lady Gaga. I had heard from Todd Phillips, not personally, that would have been amazing, that she keeps up with Joaquin Phoenix, and I think she does, but Lady Gaga being Lady Gaga, we've seen her wear meat dresses on stage. It's difficult to see her as anything other than Lady Gaga. Sure, she's a bit deranged, she's a bit crazy, but again, she's not much different in this film than she is in real life. So I didn't see her as Harley Quinn. I just sort of saw her as an enhanced version of what we knew of her in the past, 15 years, where, again, she wore meat dresses on stage. She does a great job. She's a very good actor, and I was impressed with her acting ability, but it was hard to separate the character from the actor in this film. Joaquin Phoenix is good. He's not as good as he was in the original film, and I don't know if that's his fault. I think he's still a great actor. I'm not taking anything away from him, but what was a great appeal in the first film was somehow, with as deranged as Arthur Fleck was, and how how much of a sociopath he was and, murdering people throughout the course of this film, he was somehow relatable. And I didn't get that through most of this film. And so I'm sort of blending his performance with the character development, but I felt that he didn't portray Joker the same way that I wanted, or Arthur Fleck the way that I wanted, the way that he had in the previous film. There were a few moments where I felt a connection to him, but they're few and far between, and they don't create that genuine connection that viewers felt to that character in the previous film. It was a necessary thing. It was a necessary evil, really, to be able to put yourself in the shoes of this murderer and appreciate him, because without that, something is lost. Todd Phillips brings back some pivotal characters from the previous film. I won't spoil who they are. You may be able to figure them out, but I thought that was really interesting. Again, tying it back to the film with not a lot of characters other than Joker really being a prominent character in this film from the previous film. So it was nice to see other characters to, again, tie it into that and create more of a distinct connection between the two. Again, this film is not as bad as people are saying it is. A ton happens. I actually thought the second act flew by. I did not find that boring at all. I found that second act to be a really, really interesting courtroom drama, and it works very well for the film. It flies by. The first act is a bit slow. The third act leaves a little bit to be desired. But I get where it's going. I'm not mad at it, but it's not really the ending that I had anticipated, and maybe not the ending that I was hoping for. With that, I think Joker Folie gets a 7.5 out of 10. Sure, spend a bit of money on this, buy it on demand. If you have a streaming service, sure, watch it on there. I don't think you need to rush to the theater. It probably won't be in here terribly long because it's not doing well at the box office. It didn't even do as well as Morbius did at the box office, and we all know what a piece of shit that movie was. So, if you get a chance, run to the theater and watch it. If not, wait till it comes out on Blu-ray or on demand and watch it then. It's a bit long. You probably want to sit in the comfort of your own home. 7.5 out of 10. That's what I got for you guys. Until next time, peace.